Right now, while most people are scrolling social media, watching Netflix, or just trying to get through another average week, something enormous is happening in the financial world. Something that comes around maybe once every 10 years. And the terrifying part is that the majority of people will completely miss it. Not because they didn't have the opportunity, but because no one explained it to them in time. If you are interested in money, finance, or changing your financial future, like this video and subscribe right now, because what you are about to learn can change the way you see money forever. Silver just crashed. And I know what you're thinking. Okay, so a metal went down in price. Who cares? I've got bills to pay, I've got rent due, I've got groceries that cost twice what they did 2 years ago. What does silver have to do with my life? Everything. It has everything to do with your life. And in the next 18 minutes, I'm going to show you exactly why. In a way that will make you genuinely angry that nobody ever told you this before. But before we get there, I need you to understand something first. Because if you don't understand this one foundational truth, nothing else I say today will make sense. Here is the thing about money that schools never teach you. Money by itself is not wealth. Money is just a tool that society agreed to use so we don't have to trade chickens for shoes anymore. The paper in your wallet, the numbers in your bank app, they only have value because enough people believe they do. And throughout all of human history, every single time a society printed too much of that paper, believed too hard in those numbers without anything backing them up, the same thing happened. The same exact thing. The people who held real assets survived. The people who held only paper lost almost everything. And right now, we are living through one of the most aggressive money printing periods in modern history. Governments around the world pumped out trillions of dollars, euros, pounds, and rupees, more in the last 5 years than in the previous 50 combined. Most people felt this as inflation. The price of eggs going up, rent going up, fuel going up. Everything costs more, but your salary stayed almost the same. That's not a coincidence. That is what happens when more paper chases the same amount of real goods. So the question isn't whether your money is losing value. It is. The question is, what are you doing about it? And this is where silver comes in. But I'll explain that in a moment, because first I need to tell you about the kind of person this video is actually for. Picture someone, maybe you know them, maybe this is you, a person who works hard every single month, goes to work, comes home tired, pays bills, sends money to family, tries to save a little, but somehow the account never really grows. They're not irresponsible. They're not lazy. They just never learned what to do with money beyond putting it in a savings account that earns almost nothing. And every year, quietly, invisibly, inflation eats away at whatever they manage to save. Or picture a young student just starting to earn their first income, wants to be smart with money. Googles how to invest and gets completely overwhelmed by stock charts, trading jargon, crypto volatility, and contradicting advice from every direction. So they do nothing. And doing nothing in a world where inflation is running hot is actually one of the most expensive decisions you can make. If any of that sounds familiar, this moment right here is for you, because silver's crash is not a disaster for people who understand what's actually happening. It is a gift, but only if you act while the window is still open. And here's the uncomfortable truth about windows of opportunity. They don't announce themselves. They don't send you a calendar invite. They open quietly, and most people only recognize them after they've already closed. So let's talk about what actually happened. Why did silver crash? To understand this, you need to understand how markets work at a basic level. When people feel uncertain about the economy, when they're scared, when things feel unstable, they tend to move their money into what they consider the safe havens. Gold and silver have been considered safe havens for literally thousands of years, not because someone decided that one day, but because they're real, physical, limited things. You cannot print more silver. You cannot manufacture gold out of thin air. The earth only has a certain amount, and once it's mined, it's gone. But here's the strange thing about financial markets. They don't always behave rationally in the short term. In fact, they are driven almost entirely by human emotion, fear, greed, panic, euphoria. And sometimes, when fear hits markets hard, investors need to raise cash quickly, so they sell whatever they can sell easily, including silver, to cover losses in other places. This creates a temporary price drop that has nothing to do with silver's real underlying value. That is almost exactly what has been happening. A combination of rising interest rates, a stronger dollar in short bursts, and general market anxiety caused institutional investors, the big players, the hedge funds, the banks, to liquidate precious metal positions quickly. Silver dropped. Hard. And when something drops hard, fast, and for reasons unrelated to its real value, one of two things typically happens next. Either it keeps falling and never comes back, or it snaps back with extraordinary force. And I want to tell you which one the data is pointing toward. But first, you need to understand why silver specifically is different from almost every other asset on Earth right now. Silver is not just a precious metal. Most people think of it as a shiny thing people make jewelry and coins from. And yes, that's true. But that's probably about 20% of the story. The other 80% is something that barely gets talked about in the mainstream media, and it is one of the most compelling reasons why silver's long-term value story is unlike almost anything else you could invest in today. Silver is an industrial metal, and not just any industrial application. Silver is at the absolute heart of the green energy revolution that governments around the world are pouring trillions of dollars into. Every single solar panel manufactured on Earth requires silver. Silver is used in electric vehicle components, in semiconductors, in medical equipment, in water purification systems, in the circuit boards inside your phone right now. Here's the part that should genuinely shock you. Global demand for silver has been exceeding global supply for the last several years. The world is using more silver than it is mining. And unlike some other commodities where supply can be quickly ramped up, silver mining is slow, expensive, and geologically limited. You can't just decide to produce twice as much silver next year. It doesn't work like that. So let me paint you a picture. Demand is structurally rising because of green energy expansion. Supply is structurally limited because of the nature of mining. And right now, the price just got pushed down temporarily by emotional market panic. Do you see what that combination creates? But here's what most people never realize about this particular moment. The last time silver was this undervalued relative to gold, relative to industrial demand, and relative to the amount of currency that had been printed, it was around 2008. Right in the middle of the financial crisis. The world was terrified. Banks were collapsing. People were losing jobs. And silver, which had been beaten down just like everything else, sat at around $8 or $9 per ounce. Within 3 years, it had climbed to nearly $50. That is roughly a 5 to 6 times increase in value in less than 3 years. Now, I'm not here to promise you that history will repeat perfectly. Nobody can promise you that. Anyone who guarantees you specific returns on any investment should be your first red flag to walk away. But I'm telling you that the conditions that existed back then, the undervaluation, the monetary expansion, the structural demand story, the fear-driven sell-off, they are rhyming almost perfectly with what we are seeing right now. And here's the part that keeps me up at night when I think about ordinary working people. Most of those people who could have bought silver in 2009 at $9 didn't. Not because they couldn't afford to, but because when things look scary and uncertain, human instinct is to freeze, to wait, to say, let me just see what happens. And by the time it was obvious that silver was going up, it was already at $30, $40 an ounce. The opportunity had passed. The person who changed their life in that period was the one who was willing to act, while everything still felt uncertain and uncomfortable. Now I need to address the thing some of you are already thinking. Because I know this thought is forming in your head right now, and it's important. But I don't have much money to invest. I'm not rich. Is this even for me? I want to sit with this question for a second because it reveals something important about how most people think about investing. And it's a belief that quietly keeps millions of people financially stuck their whole lives. Most people think investing is for rich people, that you need to have some large lump sum sitting around before you can participate. And that belief, right there, is one of the most expensive mental mistakes you can make. Silver, as of the time of this video, is one of the few real, tangible, historically proven assets that is genuinely accessible to ordinary people. You don't need to buy a whole ounce. You don't need thousands of dollars. You can start with whatever you have. The point isn't the amount you start with. The point is the habit, the understanding, and the positioning you take today. Think about it this way. Imagine someone who earns an average salary. Let's say they find a way to put aside even a small amount every month into silver, not gambling their rent money, not skipping meals, just consistently redirecting money they would have otherwise spent on something forgettable. Over 3 years, over 5 years, if the thesis plays out the way the data suggests it could, the difference between that person's financial position and the position of someone who did nothing is not small. It is life-changing. And here is where it gets real. The gap between financially free people and financially stuck people is almost never about intelligence. It's rarely even about income. The gap is almost always about one thing, the willingness to learn and then act before it becomes obvious to everyone. By the time something is on the front page of mainstream financial news as a great opportunity, it's usually too late to get the best entry. The people who made generational wealth from Bitcoin didn't buy it when it was on every magazine cover. They bought it when it was weird, misunderstood, and people were laughing at it. The people who made extraordinary returns from gold in the 2000s didn't wait for CNBC to give them permission. They bought it quietly, held it patiently, and watched the world eventually catch up to what they already understood. Silver today has that same energy. It's beaten down. It's being ignored. Most of your friends have no idea this opportunity is even happening. And that, historically, is exactly the environment in which the best entries are made. But I haven't told you the most important part yet. the part that explains why this crash might actually be the signal, not the disaster. There's a concept in financial markets called the gold-silver ratio. It sounds technical, but it's actually beautifully simple. It just tells you how many ounces of silver it takes to buy 1 ounce of gold. If gold is at $2,000 and silver is at $25, the ratio is 80, meaning 80 ounces of silver equals 1 ounce of gold. Historically, over centuries, this ratio has averaged somewhere around 15 to 1. That's based on how much of each metal exists in the Earth's crust. For every 1 ounce of gold, there are naturally about 15 ounces of silver. That was the ancient ratio. Rome used it. Medieval economies used it. Right now, the ratio is somewhere between 80 and 90 to 1. What that means, in plain language, is that silver is historically cheap relative to gold, dramatically cheap. If the ratio were to return even halfway toward its historical average, not all the way, just halfway, silver would need to roughly double or triple from where it sits today just to get back to normal. Now here's the part that gets fascinating. Every time in modern history that this ratio has stretched above 80, which is rare, silver has eventually reverted. Not always quickly, not always smoothly, but it has always, eventually, snapped back. And when it does, the move is violent and fast. The ratio right now is doing something it has only done a handful of times in the last 50 years. And most people are completely unaware this is even a number that exists. Let me tell you about a different kind of person for a moment. Someone who lives paycheck to paycheck, not because they're reckless, but because life is expensive and nobody ever gave them a financial education. Maybe they grew up watching their parents stressed about money. Maybe they were taught that rich people are just lucky and the game is rigged against people like them. That belief, I understand where it comes from. And in some ways, it's not entirely wrong. Certain systems do favor people who already have money. That's real. But here's the part of the story that gets left out when we talk about the game being rigged. There have always been moments in financial history where ordinary people with almost no capital had the same access to an opportunity as the wealthiest investors on Earth. Moments where the playing field was briefly, temporarily, genuinely level. Silver right now is one of those moments. The billionaire hedge fund manager and the 23-year-old saving $200 a month have access to the same silver price, the same asset, the same potential upside. The difference is only this: awareness and the willingness to act, and nobody is going to tap you on the shoulder and tell you when the window closes. Now, I want to talk about risk, because I would be doing you a disservice, I would actually be disrespecting your intelligence, if I talked about this opportunity without being honest about the risk. Silver is volatile. In the short term, it can move dramatically in either direction. If you put money into silver expecting to double it in a month, you are speculating, not investing, and speculation is a game that destroys more people than it rewards. The silver thesis is not a get-rich-quick story. It is a patient, long-term positioning story. It rewards people who buy carefully, hold with conviction, and don't panic when the price wobbles. The right way to think about silver, the way smart money thinks about it, is not as a lottery ticket. It's as a form of savings that has historically held its purchasing power over time, with the current setup suggesting significant upside over the next several years. Never invest money you cannot afford to sit on for a period of time. Never put all your resources into any single asset. And always, always, do your own research, and ideally speak to a qualified financial advisor about your specific situation. This video is education. It is perspective. It is not personalized financial advice. But what it is a door. A door into a way of thinking that most people in your neighborhood, your family, your social circle will never walk through, and you're already partway through it. Here's something that almost never gets discussed in conversations about silver, and it genuinely changes the picture. Silver is disappearing. Not in a dramatic, overnight sense, but every industrial application that uses silver, every solar panel, every EV battery component, every semiconductor wafer, uses silver in a way that is often non-recoverable. The silver gets distributed in microscopic layers, bonded into materials, used in ways that make recycling extraordinarily difficult or economically unviable, so that silver effectively leaves the supply pool permanently. And the solar industry alone is on track to consume a record amount of silver in the coming years. The International Energy Agency and multiple industry reports have flagged growing concerns about silver supply being able to meet industrial demand as the green energy build-out accelerates globally. This isn't a fringe theory. This is mainstream industrial analysis. When you combine that structural demand story with the current price being beaten down by short-term market emotion, you get what investors call a setup, a convergence of factors pointing in the same direction. And this particular setup is one of the cleaner ones I've seen in years. But here's the uncomfortable truth that I need to say out loud. Even with all of this information, even after watching a video like this, most people will do nothing. Not because they don't want a better financial life, they absolutely do, but because there is a powerful psychological force that holds people back. It's called analysis paralysis, or sometimes just fear dressed up as waiting for more information. And I understand it. I felt it. When something feels important, when the stakes feel high, there's a pull to keep researching, to watch one more video, to wait for one more data point before making a move. And while you're waiting, the opportunity is moving. Here's the hard truth about every major financial opportunity in history. By the time it felt completely safe and obvious to everyone, the best part of the opportunity was already over. The people who changed their lives were the ones who acted when it was still uncomfortable, when they still had doubts. When their friends thought they were being weird for putting money into something like silver, that discomfort you might feel right now, that slight nervousness, that should I really do this feeling? That's not a warning sign. That's the sensation of being ahead of the crowd. Let's zoom out for a moment because this is bigger than silver. What we are really talking about today is a mindset shift, a fundamental change in how you see money, assets, and your own financial future. Because the people who build real, lasting financial security, they don't do it by working harder than everyone else. They do it by understanding how money actually works. Money moves from people who don't understand it to people who do. That's not cynical. That's just the mechanics of how the financial world functions. And the beautiful thing is, understanding is available to everyone. It's not restricted to people with expensive degrees or Wall Street connections. The information is out there. Moments like this one exist. The question is only whether you decide to be someone who learns and acts, or someone who watches, nods, and then goes back to the same patterns. And here's the thing about patterns. They have gravity. The longer you stay in a financial pattern that isn't serving you, the more normal it feels, the harder it is to change. But the moment you take even one small, concrete, intentional step in a different direction, something shifts. Not just in your portfolio, in the way you see yourself, in the kind of person you're becoming. There's a version of you that watches this video, thinks that was interesting, and then closes the tab. And there's a version of you that watches this video and decides that today is the day things start being different. That today is the day you start learning how money actually works. That today is the day you stop letting fear, inertia, or lack of awareness cost you opportunities that were right in front of you. I want to be completely honest with you about something. I don't know exactly when silver will bottom out. Nobody does. I don't know if it drops another 5% before it reverses, or if the reversal has already started. Timing markets perfectly is not a skill that even the most sophisticated investors consistently pull off. What smart investors do instead is position themselves well when the evidence suggests the wind is behind them, and then they are patient. The evidence right now suggests the wind is behind silver in a way that is rare and significant. The supply-demand story, the gold-silver ratio at historic extremes, the monetary backdrop, the industrial demand trajectory, the price being temporarily beaten down by fear-driven selling. These are not small signals. These are the kinds of signals that 5 years from now people will look back on and say, I wish I had paid attention. But here's what I need you to remember most from everything you've heard today. Financial freedom doesn't happen to people. It doesn't fall out of the sky. It doesn't get handed to you because you worked hard or because you deserve it. It is built. Quietly, consistently, deliberately, by people who decided to stop leaving their financial future up to chance and started making intentional decisions with the information available to them. Every person who is financially free today made a decision at some point, often at a moment that felt uncertain, uncomfortable, even slightly scary, to do something different, to learn something most people around them didn't know, to act when everyone else was frozen. You are sitting at one of those moments right now. Silver crashed. The once-in-a-decade setup is opening. The gold-silver ratio is flashing a signal it has only flashed a handful of times in 50 years. Industrial demand is structurally rising, supply is structurally constrained, and the price is being suppressed by temporary market fear. What you do with that information, that's entirely up to you. But I can tell you this. The version of you that is still here, still watching, still reading every word, that version of you is already different from most people. Because most people would have clicked away 10 minutes ago. The fact that you're still here means something. It means you're hungry to understand. It means you're willing to look at things differently. And that quality, or that hunger, that willingness, is the single most important trait that separates people who build wealth from people who spend their whole lives wondering why they never got ahead. Don't let this be another video you watched and forgot. Let this be the moment you look back on and say, that was when I started thinking about money differently. That was when the shift began. If you learned something new today, make sure to subscribe to Money Insights and like this video. More powerful financial truths are coming next.